What's up, YouTube Revolution? ZombfectedGaming 349 at your fingertips. So today, I wanted to do a predictions video for the two main protagonists in Grand Theft Auto 6, known as Lucia and Jason. These are the two main characters who are gonna have a Bonnie and Clyde-like relationship. So a majority of the game, it seems like they will be boyfriend and girlfriend. But I think the game won't start with these two in a relationship with each other. I think the game will kind of start out similar to Grand Theft Auto 5. For example, at the beginning of the game, Michael doesn't know Franklin, but as the story progresses, they end up meeting each other, and as over time, the story progresses, Michael and Franklin start to develop a fatherly-son bond, but more of the son I never had and son I always wanted type bond. I'm guessing we will either be playing as Lucia or Jason first, and somehow there's gonna be some sort of event to where they meet each other. Let's say, for example, what if Jason or Lucia was gonna rob a place and be a burglar and sneak in, and let's say what if this place that Lucia and Jason are robbing, they end up burglarizing at the same place, robbing it at the same time, and they both want the same things, and they get into this cat and mouse like chasing each other around for whatever item they robbed. And they are constantly joking at each other and saying, "You're a good thief, but not as good as me." I can picture Lucia saying something like this to Jason, and Jason says, "Damn, you're hard to catch," and they realize that if they work together as partners in crime, they may end up being very successful criminals. This is kinda how I wanted to picture the story going at the beginning, because I don't want the story to start with them already being a couple and knowing each other already. And over time throughout the story, we see these two developing a romantic bond with each other, but I want it to be slow and not jump into a fast relationship yet. With great storytelling, with these two to fully flesh out their story well, it has to be longer than Grand Theft Auto 5. I want it to at least be 100 missions or close to 100 missions. I can't see it having more than 100 like how Red Dead Redemption 2 did, but you never know what Rockstar has up their sleeve with the story, since Grand Theft Auto 6 has been in the works since 2014. One of the reasons I want this relationship to go slow is because I know how relationships work, especially in real life. Don't rush yourself into a fast relationship by being desperate. Always get to know the man or woman you're dealing with. Since I have a girlfriend, I've been with her for over 4 years now, and over time before I dated her, I got to know her over time. Rushed relationships is not the way to go, especially in Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't want to see Lucia and Jason getting romantically involved at the beginning at all, because I think it could ruin the story's potential. I just can't see the stupid cliche where a girl and guy meet each other and be like, "Oh, you're good looking, want to go out? We barely know each other, but dang, you're really good, so let's date right now." This is no high school romance story. That's bad writing, because relationships sometimes don't last when they start like that. We want friendship buildup and trust to be built between Lucia and Jason as the story unfolds before we get romantically involved, because it makes for more better payoff and shows you that it was well earned, especially after all that trust has built up. An example I want to make is from this TV series, The Walking Dead. I know this is a little off topic, but let's talk the main character, Rick Grimes, and another main character, Michonne. Michonne was introduced in the beginning of Season 3, and The Walking Dead usually has 16-episode seasons. Rick met Michonne as she was this outsider to his group and didn't trust her, but over time, Rick's son Carl started to really like Michonne and trust her, and that actually helped Rick trust Michonne. So throughout the remainder of Season 3 and the rest of Season 4 and Season 5 and partly through Season 6, Rick and Michonne were just really close friends, and you could foreshadow a possible relationship coming, but didn't rush into anything. But in the halfway point of Season 6, Rick and Michonne finally got romantically involved, and it seems very believable for this to happen because they didn't rush, and the payoff was great when this eventually happened. And going forward in the show, they proved to be an extremely badass couple who don't let any enemy or any extreme situation stand in their way. Another example of great relationship storytelling was from the game Days Gone. Deacon and Sarah, they are romantically involved, but it's not romance left and right in our face. I'm not going to go too much into the story, but a huge chunk of this story is Deacon and Sarah not being romantically involved, only a few parts throughout the story. So you may now really understand what I mean by how Lucia and Jason's relationship should work throughout the story, and how to make it work is taking it slow and making sure the story is long to properly flesh out this story in a believable way. Look at how long it took to flesh out Rick and Michonne's relationship on The Walking Dead. It took time. It was a well payoff since character development is always key in a great story. So let's say if GTA 6 was to have close to 100 missions or around 100 missions, I think coming up on the halfway point of the story would be the great point to start their romantic relationship, like around mission 40 or mission 45, coming close to mission 50. But let's talk about the whole Bonnie and Clyde inspiration that Rockstar is doing with Lucia and Jason. I think by the end of the game, it could have multiple endings like Grand Theft Auto 5 with good endings and bad endings. So maybe Lucia and Jason could potentially die similarly to Bonnie and Clyde in the 1930s when they got killed in their car by being ambushed by the police on a highway. So let's say if something like this was to happen to both Lucia and Jason, who would our playable character be after if both characters are dead? Maybe another person we meet in the main story, kind of similar to how in Red Dead Redemption 1, after John Marston dies, we play as his son Jack, and like how in Red Dead Redemption 2, when Arthur dies, we play as John after. But let's say what if there was separate endings to where one character dies, let's say for example Lucia dies and Jason lives, or Jason dies and Lucia lives. Will another playable character take over for the spot for who died and make for a branching storyline like an epilogue? I think this would be very interesting. This is another reason why I think Grand Theft Auto 6's story should be fleshed out well and have branching decisions to make for a lot of replay value with the story to see how it ends and ends differently. I want to see Grand Theft Auto 4's and Red Dead Redemption 2's decision system to be expanded upon, especially since Grand Theft Auto 6 has been Rockstar's longest game development ever, and hopefully the wait we've been waiting for in the end, when it releases, pays off. I was 15 years old when Grand Theft Auto 5 released, and now I'm 24, gonna be 25 soon, so I expect nothing less from Grand Theft Auto 6's story and gameplay to really knock a lot of other Rockstar games out of the water, but with storytelling beating Grand Theft Auto 4 is gonna be very hard and challenging, so hopefully this long decade of work from Rockstar for GTA 6 was very much worth it. But that's all I wanted to talk about. What do you guys expect from Grand Theft Auto 6? Leave some comments below, and if you like these type of Grand Theft Auto 6 videos and a bunch of awesome open world games, consider subscribing to the channel and ding that bell icon really hard so I can always stay within fast reach of your fingertips when new uploads arrive. ZombfectedGaming 349 over and out.